This fall, the World of Darkness returns to Xbox for an encore of blood and horror to last year's runaway hit. Interplay Entertainment and High Voltage Software proudly present Hunter, the Reckoning, Redeemer. Based on White Wolf's popular pen and paper game, Hunter, the Reckoning, Redeemer features a gripping new story found only on Xbox. Featuring new monsters, spells, and downloadable content from Xbox Live, gamers everywhere will marvel at this action-packed sequel. And now, we take you behind the scenes to hear from the creators of the game. Welcome to Hunter, the Reckoning, Redeemer, the making of the game.
The storyline for Hunter Redeemer takes place approximately 10 years after the first Hunter the Reckoning. The main story focuses on Kaylee, who is now all grown up. She's scarred and she's bitter from her experience in the church from the first game. She's now a hunter herself, and she's noticed that something fishy is going down in Ashcroft with a new company called Genifex, which seems to be taking an ever-growing presence about town. And she calls in the hunters from the first game to help her out, solve the mystery, and basically kick some butt.
Kaylee is a conglomeration of all the other hunters wrapped into one. Kaylee only exists because the other hunters were there at the moment of her imbuing. They trained her, they brought her up. And basically, Kaylee is not going to be the average kind of person. Kaylee's parents were killed in front of her when she was little. And then from there, her whole life has been turned around. Her whole life has been turned upside down. And everything has been about becoming a hunter.
Kaylee as a character is, she's very fast. She's in hand-to-hand, and she has her sword that she uses. Her gun, because it's sort of like a black powder gun, is a little bit slower. It has a lot of short-range punch, but it takes longer to reload, and there's longer time in between it. And then she, as far as her stats go, she's kind of balanced. She's a very balanced, interesting character. I've only developed on the Xbox and the PC, and I have to say that developing the Xbox is really easy. I get to work on things, and I see them right away. There's not a lot of transition time between it. It pushes a tremendous amount of information. We have so many monsters in our levels are huge. I really enjoy working on it and not having as many constraints as some other platforms.
Some of the exciting new things in Redeemer, it's got to be the level size alone in one case. Version 1 levels were huge. These are massive. Lots of gameplay area. New moves for the hunters, new weapons, fantastic new monsters.
People should be excited about this new version because we're going to really push the Xbox pretty far graphically, for one. For two, it's an interesting storyline, the way that we work off of the original, and even kind of through the Wayward version, then into this version. So any Hunter fan is really going to find a home with this game, I think.
Coming soon, part 2 of the making of Hunter, the Reckoning, Redeemer. The horror is back, and the hunt continues as High Voltage Software proudly present the sequel to White Wolf's haunting pen and paper game, Hunter, the Reckoning, to the console world. With entirely new gameplay and characters, Hunter the Reckoning, Redeemer delivers non-stop action and horror exclusively to Xbox. And now, we continue our journey into the world of darkness and take you behind the scenes for part 2 of the making of Hunter the Reckoning, Redeemer.
The storyline for Redeemer finds us back in Ashcroft during the holiday season. But one of the key elements is the fact that Kaylee, who was the little helpless girl in version 1, has now grown up and become a hunter herself. So she's once again faced down by evil in the town that she faced her first horrible experience with monstrosities in.
Well, I think Redeemer has a lot to get excited about. It has all the action of the first Hunter. It has a new character. We have 2 secret unlockable characters, fully playable. We have a large assortment of playable monsters, which I think is going to be cool. And we're adding new weapons. We have a whole new storyline. Our levels are probably 5 times the size of the original levels, so we have much more gameplay, new missions. We have a lot to offer.
After we shipped version 1, we paid a lot of attention to what gamers had to say about the product. There's been a lot of improvements made based off of that. Camera improvements, new attack sequences for all the hunters, some terrific new monsters.
In Hunter Redeemer, instead of using the old advancement system that we had in the first game, we've decided to go with a more intuitive version, where as the player uses abilities, if they use ranged, they'll advance in range. If they use melee a lot, like their axe and like to hit things, they'll advance in melee. And if they use their edges, they'll gain their new edges faster in that way. And this way, there's no pausing to go to another screen and like placing points. It's all based on how you perform.
There's going to be a lot of combo moves. In fact, there's going to be certain combo moves that can't be accessed unless you trigger preceding combo moves. So you can get a chain going and basically pull off these incredible combos that you weren't able to in the first game.
You should be really excited about the new weather effects in the game. We're making use of particle effects. We're going to be having some kind of physics simulation like wind, snow, fog, puddles in the levels. It's really going to feel more like you're in the game. The actual levels are going to feel less static, more kind of dynamic. You're walking around, you can actually feel like you're there. We're adding extra content into our game to allow flashlight levels. Basically the levels will set up to allow the characters to wear flashlights. Basically it's going to make it really intense. You can be, especially if you play the game at night, turn the volume up on your own, you'll be playing the game, walking around dark corridors, just scare the crap out of you.
The replayability in Hunter Redeemer is huge. What you can do now is you can play through the entire game with the character, really develop them throughout the game. And once you've beaten the game, you have all of their stats still preserved. So you can play through again, now as, let's say you're Deuce, now you're Deuce on steroids. You've got everything you could possibly need in terms of strength and power and conviction. And you're even able to go to a buddy's house with this bolstered character, pop your memory card into their system, and keep playing so that your experience can be taken with you anywhere you need to go.